I'm going to be talking to my friend, neighbor, and one of the greatest movie actors in the world, Al Pacino. Now, Al doesn't like doing interviews, but I managed to twist his arm on your behalf. So everyone, stay tuned. You won't be disappointed. Al, welcome to my house. I'm so happy you're here.
Well, so am I.
This is a big treat for the English viewers to see you in all your glory. And I want to read you one thing first.
Oh, yeah.
Then I'm going to put this away and just wing it. IMDb, which, as you know, is the biggest movie database. So I decided to look you up. Not that I don't know a lot about you, because I do. But I looked you up, and it said, one of the greatest actors in all of film history. How about that?
Yeah.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I mean, when you hear something like that, I mean, you're a kid from the Bronx.
I came from a neighborhood where we had such a cross-section of people. Europeans, you know, African Americans, Latinos, and we were all together. It was after the war, and a lot of people moved from their separate ghettos to blend with other ethnic groups.
How old were you when you got out of school?
I had to quit school.
Why?
To work. I had to go to work.
So how old were you?
I was, I guess, when do you quit school? 16 or 17?
16. I was thrown out at 15.
Oh,
it was pretty
wow.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's something to be said for being self-educated and street smart.
There is. You know, when I quit school,
Yeah.
and I must have been 17, 18, Off-Broadway had just been invented, really, and now there was off-Broadway, and there were all these cafes and theaters, and you would do shows, and you'd do 16 shows a week. Usually reviews, comedy reviews, or we would do one-act plays. You get about 8, 12 people in there, and they'd be sipping their coffee, and then you would perform for them, and then afterward the actors would go around with a basket, and people would drop in something, and that's how we ate. It's a great training ground, and there was such a vitality in the village at that time in New York. It was an extraordinary time.
Of course, my favorite movie of yours is Sea of Love.
Sea of Love.
Sea of Love. The great Harold Becker directing you in that. Oh, that's a fabulous movie.
Oh, thank you.
Which is your favorite?
I don't have a favorite. I just don't. I have films that I feel as though I captured something that I set out to do somewhat. Because one never feels you've taken something as far as you could take it. You never feel that way. And that's the joy of theater, doing live theater, because it's a continual.
Do you prefer that?
I prefer it, yeah, I do. Maybe because I started in it, I think. And I'm more familiar with it. I feel more comfortable in performing live.
Well, where does that come from?
I know that as a child, I had two aunts who couldn't hear.
Yeah.
And they were raising me with my paternal grandmother. In order to communicate, I would animate, and because I'd have to gesture and act out things because they couldn't hear me. I was reaching, and I think that's where the performance started. And also, there's a basic shyness in me. When you have a director who's only sees you in a role, even when you yourself don't see yourself in the part, after a while, you know, I thought, well, why is he so interested in me in this part? Perhaps it's, you know, he's wrong, you know, because no one wanted me, and they didn't want Brando. And then during the shooting of it and the filming of it, I felt around me that there was concern about the way I was interpreting it and stuff. It was a bit intense the first couple of weeks. And Marlon, I remember being so supportive to me, so, you know, so comforting. And then they did that Saluzzo scene where Michael shoots the guy in the restaurant.
Oh, I love that scene.
And I think that sort of kept me in the picture, and that would be the sort of pivot of the performance, and that would be the shock of the performance.
Yeah. Now, you're in a movie with Matthew McConaughey.
Well, it's an interesting movie. I have a character in it that's sort of interesting, too. The character is unusual and different and changeable, which is always interesting to watch, somebody who you don't quite know where he's coming from.
Do you have any regrets?
Regrets? No. How could
And what
I?
makes you the happiest?
You know, it's my kids. You know
It's your kids.
Yeah.
And they're gorgeous, too.
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming to see me
You
today.
know, thank you. Thank you for talking to me.
Well,
and thank you for
such a
saying those
pleasure.
nice things about
And
me.
it's so great, and I know the English audience is going to be thrilled that they got a little insight into this
Wow.
guy that they
Well,
really love and adore. You
that's
are an
great.
icon in England.
Oh, that's great.
Really.
That's good to
Thank
know.
you, Al.
I thank you. Thank you very much.